Live from downtown Detroit, home of WDIV and Click on Detroit, Local 4 News at 11 starts now.
We're going to begin with the search for teenagers who assaulted an elderly man during a home invasion in Ann Arbor.
It happened when a group of teenagers knocked on his door asking for help in the middle of the night. Victor Williams is live in Ann Arbor. Victor, it quickly turned violent from there.
Yes, Karen and Devin, things turned very violent. Thankfully, this man is expected to be okay. We're told that this is a senior citizen that had a very big heart, and sadly, some took that as a weakness.
He's a good guy. He's been there probably longer than I think. I know at least 10 years.
Kurt Kaiser says his 79-year-old neighbor, John, was home alone at 2:30 a.m. Monday morning when he got a knock on the door from a group of 4 teenagers saying their car had broke down and that they needed to use a phone.
That's an old trick. There's nothing new there.
After first telling the teens no, John had a change of heart as the group started going back to the car. As John dials a number on the front door, that's when the teens all started coming back, this time with a rifle and a pistol demanding to get inside the home. First, John stood his ground and said no, causing one of the teens to fire a shot, thankfully missing the 79-year-old. But one swings the rifle like a baseball bat, hitting the senior in the head, causing a major wound.
It's a shame. When I was that age, I wouldn't dream of doing things that I hear kids doing now.
Caution tape marks the exact spot where all of this happened. While John lays there bleeding from his head on the porch, 2 teens step inside, stealing a jar of pot while the other 2 stand watch. Moments later, John starts screaming, causing the 4 teens to take off in a panic in the same car that was supposedly broken down. Kurt's wife heard it all.
And then she heard a gunshot and she heard somebody hollering, "Help, help, help." This has always been a quiet neighborhood, kids growing up and people looking out after each other. And it is a shame. My wife was hysterical. I said she wants to move.
And turns out the vehicle that those teens were driving in was stolen. Police officers found it just hours later at a park nearby with the engine still running and no one inside. So if you guys know anything about this situation, please contact Ann Arbor Police. Victor Williams, Local 4.
All right, Victor. Tonight, a Texas rabbi with ties to Michigan is sharing how a man talked his way into a synagogue, taking him and 3 others hostage.
Thankfully, none of the hostages were hurt. Jason Colthorpe joins us live tonight. And Jason, that rabbi is opening up about how they all escaped.
Karen, this was an incredible ordeal. This rabbi, who has family here in Metro Detroit, by the way, it's described the situation was intense. One of the parishioners who was there mentions that the man was swearing. Every other word was profanity. He made it clear this was going to end violently. You'll hear more about that in a minute. And to keep everyone there being held hostage calm and rely on his training, just incredible. Listen. Congregation Beth Israel, a synagogue in Colleyville, Texas, strives to be a place where people belong. That's according to its website. So when a stranger knocked on the door, Rabbi Charlie Citron Walker, originally from Lansing, let him in.
I heard a click, and it could have been anything. And it turned out that it was his gun.
Police say it was 44-year-old British national Malik Faisal Akram who entered the temple and took the rabbi and 3 others hostage during a service that was being live streamed. A prophetic statement, as Akram did die after the 11-hour standoff, killed when the FBI hostage rescue team moved in. But what was his motive?
That's not suicide in his mind. That's martyrdom.
CNN reporting tonight Akram arrived legally in the U.S. from the U.K. in late December and was not on a watch list. The early belief is he wanted to get a convicted terrorist serving an 86-year sentence in Fort Worth released. A member of the congregation says he also talked repeatedly about how he hated Jews. Rabbi Citron Walker credits security courses for helping him and the other hostages stay alive through this terrifying experience.
I told them to go. I threw a chair at the gunman, and I headed for the door.
Just amazing how they were able to escape that and escape unharmed. We're also learning more about this, the man who was killed, his mental health. The woman he mentioned who was a political prisoner in his mind through her attorney, said she doesn't know who this person is, and we're going to learn more about his motive and what played out here in the coming days. As for the rabbi, he's moving forward. Tonight held another service at a different church, determined to move past one man's hate and on with his life and everyone else's. Reporting live tonight, Jason Coulter, Local 4.
All right, thank you, Jason.
The situation hasn't changed much on Detroit's west side, where a water main break has turned an entire neighborhood into a frozen pond, trapping cars and angering homeowners. Tim Pamplin there tonight with the night cam. Tim.
We've been out here all evening long. The water has gone down about an inch or so and then stopped. The damage is done. That car there just ended up having to go off-roading and got stuck because this water is deep. The ice is getting thicker with every passing minute. It appears everything in this neighborhood is frozen in place. A child's scooter and Ashley's motor car.
Oh my God.
That was Ashley's reaction when she woke up and looked out the window this morning. We sent Drone 4 up before sundown to survey the damage, and it's a sight to see.
It's been hectic. You can't even get to your house. I couldn't even bring my baby. I had to drive on the grass just to get to the house.
As you can see, tire marks there showing where drivers go up and down the sidewalks over people's lawns to get around. And the water board were out here earlier. They got the leak cut off. That's been fixed. Now it's just a matter of getting all of this ice and freezing water out of here. That is the scene on the west side with the night cam. Tim Pamplin, Local 4.
Now to the coronavirus. The State House announcing an updated schedule for the week as COVID cases surge among members and staff.
The House will technically be in session this week, but no voting will take place. Floor votes will start back again next week. The White House will begin taking orders for free COVID testing kits starting Wednesday. You can place your orders online at covidtests.gov. There will be a limit of 4 tests per household. Those tests will ship within 7 to 12 days of ordering.
A 19-year-old remains unaccounted for tonight after a deadly house fire in Pontiac. 2 men died, 5 others were hurt during this massive overnight blaze on St. Clair Street near Kennett and Baldwin. 11 adults were inside when that fire broke out, and residents had to jump to escape those flames. Now we're told the 19-year-old who had autism refused to follow his stepdad when he jumped, and he hasn't been seen since. Neighbors say they didn't think twice when they heard screams for help.
I was at the second window in the back. I had to take that shopping cart right there, and the man had to break himself and break his fall on there, and then he fell to the ground. Another guy was up there with his leg out of the second window in the middle, and another guy was climbing down this brick.
If it wasn't for my neighbors, I think we all would have been in trouble.
Crews are investigating the cause of the fire.
A Roseville woman is charged in the accidental shooting of a 3-year-old boy on Detroit's east side. 30-year-old Jeanette Smith was charged with careless, reckless, or negligent use of a firearm. Prosecutors say she was visiting a home Friday on East Lafayette to pick up food. They say she took off her coat with a gun in the pocket and left it on a chair. The little boy found the gun and shot himself in the head. That 3-year-old remains hospitalized.
Martin Luther King Jr.'s children are urging the U.S. Senate to pass a new federal voting rights standard on the national holiday celebrating their father's legacy.
A large group of demonstrators gathered on MLK Day in Washington to honor the late civil rights leader with a march to call on Congress to pass voting rights measures that are currently stalled in the Senate. His granddaughter was among those calling for lawmakers to act.
For all the elected leaders out there who are tweeting, posting, and celebrating my grandfather, Dr. King, today, my message to you is simple. Do not celebrate, legislate.
Democrats plan to vote on 2 voting rights bills this week, but unless something changes, they appear destined to fail.